Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to continue to talk about Officer and Gentleman. That's right, Officer and Gentleman, that lovely movie from 1982, okay? The romantic movie. That's right. It gets you right here in the feels, okay? And gets you right there down there, too, doesn't it? Of course it does. Of course it does, especially for you women out there. I know this movie's like fucking Spanish Fly. All those fucking fantasies that you had about some fucking naval officer coming into your fucking bullshit job and carrying you out of there, okay, into some fucking incredible magical life. Get the fuck out of here with that noise, all right? But that's what this movie's about, okay? Now, me having been in the military myself, I can relate a lot, and I've experienced my own officer and gentleman shit as well during my career in the military. In the Marine, I was in the Marine Corps though. I wasn't in the Navy. All right. So yeah, I can relate a lot to this movie. I'm happy this is one of the movies I watched before I actually joined the military. So it kind of prepared me for some stuff, especially in my school that I went to, because I was only there for like 3.5 months. And oh, the women were there, man. They were waiting for us. They knew exactly when we were going to get off that bus. Okay, and when we were going to graduate too. They knew exactly before we did. Okay, so they knew they were on a timetable to latch on to us. All right, but it's true. It's fucking true. There's always women in some bullshit redneck hick town. You know, they got nothing going in their lives. Okay, so their only hope of getting out of there is with the guys that are stationed there. You know, the guys that, they go to school there and then they graduate. Okay, and you got to remember that the guys that are in the military, we come from all over the country. There's even guys from Puerto Rico and shit. All right, we come from all over the country. All right, so we come from different cultures, different parts of the United States. Okay, so we've seen things. Okay, whereas the girls that are there in this rinky-dink town, they've only been there and they haven't been anywhere else. That's all they fucking know. So they meet us guys, like that, who have been different places. We've done other things. We've lived in different cities. We know what it's like. Okay, these girls, they don't know shit except fucking Jerkwater, fucking Kansas. That's all they fucking know. They don't know anything else. Okay, so yeah, you got a guy like me. I'm from Chicago. Okay, so I can tell you a lot about Chicago and stuff. And they're like, oh my God, tell me, I want to go there. What's it like? That kind of shit. So of course they're all into it, okay? They can get some jerkwater guy anytime they want, but they want guys that have actually seen things and done other things, and besides living in fucking jerkwater hellhole fucking Missouri, So that's true. That's why the women are attracted to us, and that's why the guys there don't like us. The civilian guys, oh, they hate us there because we fuck all their girls. It's true. It's fucking true. I will say that we fucked all their girls, and they didn't like us for that. That's why you never go anywhere by yourself, okay? Because you never know when those guys are going to jump you, okay? I never went to a bar, okay, near a military base in the civilian world by myself, okay? My haircut gave it away. They knew I was in the military, all right? So they would fucking jump me or something, or talk shit to me or whatever, if I wasn't there with my friends. So I always knew you never go anywhere by yourself, okay? Always go in a group, okay? Because if they fuck with you, they got to fuck with everybody, and you don't want to fuck with everybody. You don't want to fuck with all of us, all right? Okay, I've seen guys that try to do that shit. Okay, it don't fucking work out for them. It don't work out for them. All right. Anyway, so moving right along. My name is Diego, and I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view. Okay, and that's what we're going to talk about today is Officer and Gentleman. Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what a straight man thinks about these situations, these characters. Okay, and the story all around. Okay, the directing, the acting, all that kind of shit. We're going to talk about that here. Okay, and I'm going to tell you, honest to God, what a straight man thinks about this. This is the point of view that you never got when you watch this movie with your mom and your grandma and your girlfriends, all that kind of fucking shit, and your gay friends and your fucking slumber parties. I'm not giving you any of that shit. I'm gonna tell you the honest God fucking truth, okay? I'm gonna give you a straight up fucking dose of truth, baby, with no lube. No lube, all right? The real question you need to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Because I don't think you can. In fact, I know you can't. I know you can't handle the truth, all right? I know you can, okay? I'm gonna give it to you straight up, baby. Straight up. Way you like it. No, okay, I'm kidding. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth. All right. So if you want to know what a real man thinks about these movies, okay, about this movie in particular, okay, that's what we're gonna talk about here. Okay, I'm not gonna bullshit. I got nothing to gain about bullshitting you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth. All right. Now, luckily for you, I actually enjoyed this movie, so I'm not gonna rip this movie apart like I do so many other chick flicks that I've done on this channel, like Dirty Dancing, like The fucking Notebook, okay, like fucking Breakfast at Tiffany's, okay. I've reviewed a lot of fucking your fucking chick flicks already, okay. Fucking Pretty Woman, what an abortion that thing was, okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna, although that was a Richard Gere too, yeah. Okay, anyway, but no. So this one I actually liked. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I think that the main character, Zach, even though he's not the main character, he's supposed to be the main character. I think Deborah Winger's Paula stole the movie from him. Honestly, she's the one that y'all relate to. You don't give a shit about Zach. Like only guys that watch this movie give a shit about Zach. Okay, and let's face it, there wasn't very many of us that watched it to find out about Richard Gere's character. Okay, you all watched it to fucking find out about Paula. Paula's the one you really related to. Okay, she was Miss USA right there. She was the one one that all the girls related to. Okay, any girl that grew up in a fucking Jerkwater, Kansas, okay, related to Paula. Okay, like I said, this movie's not about Zach who meets a fucking makes a factory girl in some rinky-dink town outside of his fucking Officer Candace school and falls in love with her. No, this ain't about that. It's about a girl that works in a factory in a rinky-dink town that falls in love with an officer candidate. That's the real movie here, okay? That's the real movie you women liked, okay? It wasn't the real story that they were trying to present. But hey, whatever. Hey, it got asses in the seats. This movie was the most successful movie of Richard Gere's career. I think he well acted it. He acted like a man. Thank fucking God. Usually in these movies, men don't act like men. Okay, especially not today. Usually you get some fucking skinny ass fucking pussy boy like a Timothy Chalamet or a Tom Holland or a fucking, or a Harry Styles or some fucking bullshit like that. And the men are supposed to relate to those guys. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with those. At least Zach looks like a man, acts like a man, talks like a man. Okay? Good or bad, despite all of his faults, okay, he does portray masculinity in this movie, okay? So this was a different era. This is the Reagan era, early 80s, okay? Where you actually were allowed to act like a man in a fucking movie. Unlike today, okay, where all the men are sissy boys and all the women are fucking butches. Get the fuck out of here with that noise. At least fucking Paula acts like a woman, and thank God for that. That makes her more attractive. Holy shit, ladies. All you women out there complaining about how you can't find a guy, hey, look it up, man. Look at fucking, have you ever looked at Tinder? Look at fucking, what do you call it? Look at all those dating profiles, okay? Holy shit, man. All these fucking women are out there, oh, I'm trying to find a man. Well, you know why? You can't find a man because you're all fucking boss bitches. That's why. Act like a fucking woman and you'd be surprised how many men want to pick you up. Just act like a fucking girl. Don't believe all this fucking bullshit, fucking Leslie Headland crap that you got to act like a man, okay, to get respect. Get the fuck out of here. No, you don't. You don't. Like I said, I'm going to tell you the fucking truth here. Okay. Anyway, moving right along. So the last scene that we left off with here, we had Paula, played by Deborah Winger, was talking to her mom. Okay. And her mom basically told her, don't go to the base. Okay. Because Zach blew her off. He doesn't want to see her anymore. He realized he's getting too close to her and she's already fallen for him. So it's too late for her. But Zach is still trying to pull away from her. He's going to try to break it off with Paula. Just don't call her again. Basically, he ghosted her and she can't handle it getting ghosted in 1982. Okay. She's blowing up the phone on the base, trying to get a hold of him. Okay. And when he doesn't return her calls, she decides that she's going to go over there, okay, and see what the fuck he's doing, okay, and her mom stops her. He says, no, don't do this, okay, because her mom went through this as well. Her mom had fallen in love with an officer candidate, okay, that's who Paula's biological father is, but of course he fucking ditched her and left her holding the baby, okay, so she had to marry another guy that she didn't love, okay, and that's why she still works at the factory, and that's why she's stuck there, okay, Paula doesn't want that for herself. Okay, but here is Edith, okay, Paula's mom, seeing her daughter make the same mistakes that she made, and so she stops her. She says, "I can't let you do it. I just can't. You can't make him stay if he doesn't want to stay. You got to let him go. Okay, you can't trick him. Don't try to trap him. And if you go over there right now, you're going to find him, and if you find him, okay, you're going to tell him anything to keep him. Okay, you'll say anything to keep him, and God help you then. Which is so fucking true. And then Paula realizes that she's right. Her mom is right. All that bullshit she said earlier about how she would never do that. She told Lynette that she would never trap a guy. She would never try to fucking, trick a guy into keeping her, She even told Zach that when Zach, one of the first things that Zach said when he met her at the dance was, hey, Gunny here says that all you women outside of the base are just here to try to get a husband. Okay, is that what you're trying to do? She's like, no, I'm not. I'm just here to have a good time and meet people. Get the fuck out of here. He knows exactly why she's there. Okay, so despite all the protests, despite all the denials that she makes, the truth is she is there, most definitely there to trap Zach, okay? Because she's in love with this guy. Maybe he's not like the other candidate. Maybe she had no feelings for the other candidate. I'm sure she dated more than one candidate. Like I said, her and Lynette are pretty much in business together doing this, okay? They know exactly when the new candidates are going to arrive. They go over there, they show off their asses, get the guys all horny for them. And then a month later, when they finally get liberty, they go over there for the dance, and they dance with the guys, and they fuck the guys, and they try to get the guys to fucking to marry them, okay? And get them out of that fucking shithole town and out of that bullshit factory job that they grew up going to, okay? Lynette already admitted this, okay? She's done this more than once. Ain't her first rodeo. Same thing with Paula. Okay, Paula's never admitted it, but you can tell. If you do the math, you can tell. Okay, yeah, this is not the first time they've tried to seduce fucking officers, but I do think this is the first time that Paula, because remember, she's only 22, okay, or 21, okay? I think this is the first time that Paula ever fell for one of these guys, okay? I'm sure she fucked a lot of these guys, but this is the first guy, Zach is the first guy that she ever really fell for, I think, and that's why she's treating this one differently than the others, okay? She has legitimate feelings for this guy, and I think that Zach Zach probably has as much feelings for her as he's capable of having. Okay, but when you look at his childhood, his dad was an asshole womanizer. He grew up in a fucking whorehouse. So he doesn't understand what intimacy is. He knows how to fuck women. He's very good at that, but he doesn't understand what intimacy is. He doesn't understand what relationships are. He doesn't know what it's like to risk your own feelings for somebody else. Okay, knowing that you might get hurt. Okay, his mother committed suicide when he was a kid. So he's got a lot of fucked up issues as far as relating to people, as far as having friends and shit. Okay, now his Gunny called him out because he's a selfish prick, and he is. He's starting to learn his way. He's starting to think about other people now. Okay, and I think because he's thinking about other people, he realizes that with his past and with his history and with his fear of commitment, his fear of intimacy, okay, it's better to cut off Paula right now before he gets any closer. But the problem is that Paula's already a lot further along than he is, okay? She doesn't know how to do that, okay? Not so much. I mean, she tries, okay, but she's not very good at it, okay? She really just wants Zach, okay? It's hard to fucking be dating other guys, and pretending like you don't give a shit when she's just so fucking consumed by Zach, okay? And she tries to hide it, but she's not fooling anybody, okay? So that's what's going on here, okay? So anyway, so the next scene that we see here, like I said, Zach blew her off. He decided not to see her that weekend. The next scene that we see here is Zach is having dinner with Sid's parents, okay? Now, we learned earlier that Sid's dad was a naval officer, okay? And Sid's older brother, Tommy, was also a naval officer. He went to the same officer candidate school, okay? But he was killed in Vietnam. So that's a sore topic for him. He doesn't want to talk about his dad. The one time that Lynette, when he first met Lynette, she mentioned that her brother also died in Vietnam, but he did not want to talk. Sid did not want to talk about his brother, Tommy. He just wanted to change the subject. Let's talk about something else. That's a sore spot for him, okay? Now, while they're having dinner with Sid's folks, okay, his dad tells Zach, first of all, Sid's bragging about how great Zach is on the obstacle course. He's like #1. He's beating everybody on the physicality of the school, okay? But also, Sid's dad tells him that, hey, you know what? The school you're going to is a hell of a lot easier than when I went through it. Okay, I went through it, and Sid's older brother, my oldest son, he also went through it. Now you can tell by looking at Sid's face that he brought up his brother again. He does not like talking about his brother. He doesn't like thinking about his brother. Okay, we don't know why yet. Okay, but Sid's dad does mention to Sid. He says like, hey, Sid, I want to know why you haven't called or written to Susan in 3 weeks. What's going on with that, all right? You haven't written to her in 3 weeks, and he tells his dad that, well, sir, I haven't really had time. I've been so busy here. He doesn't tell his dad that he's been fucking Lynette this whole time. And that's what he's been busy with, okay? But this is the first time that Zach ever heard about some Susan girl. Sid never mentioned her to him before, so he doesn't really know who she is or anything like that, all right? But one thing before we leave the scene is that Sid's dad does mention that when he went through OCS, Officer Candidate School, you weren't allowed to quit back then. Okay, like you can now. Now they have the DOR, okay, dropped on request. So basically, if Gunny Foley's being too hard on you, you can quit at any fucking time. You give him your DOR and they kick you out of the school, okay? You don't get to graduate, okay? And Gunny's hoping that everybody fucking gives their DOR, because those that don't, that actually graduate the school, those are the ones that earn the right to become naval officers, okay? The ones that quit during training, okay, do not have what it takes to make it as a naval officer, okay? Zach, earlier in the movie, he wanted Zach's DOR. Zach refused to give it, so we got smoked all weekend. But luckily, Zach has what it takes to be a naval officer, so he was allowed to stay in, okay? But Sid, we're not so really sure about, okay? But anyway, Sid's dad says like they weren't allowed to do that, okay? Like if you didn't make it through basic training in officer candidate school, they made you an enlisted man. They made you a swabby, okay, which is bad. That's like a private, okay, in the Navy, okay. It sucks, okay. And you're not an officer. You're like the lowest man there, okay. So his dad does mention that to him, okay? The very next scene here, we see Sid and Zach are leaving the restaurant, okay? They're in their dress blues, they're looking good, the white caps, the black uniforms, they look really fucking good, very professional, okay? And Zach asks Sid about Susan. Who's this Susan girl? You never mentioned her to me. Like, who is she? And Sid says like, well, yeah, I'm kind of supposed to marry her when I'm done with this and get back home. So he has a fiance this whole time that we never knew about, that Zach didn't know about. They're supposed to be best friends, and Zach did not know about Susan. And Zach's like, well, why didn't you tell me about her? Like, what the hell? He's like, oh, I didn't want you to think I was being an ass because you knew I was fucking Lynette this whole time. I didn't want you to judge me. And he's like, hey, dude, come on, man. I'm not your dad. He's like, I'm not gonna judge you. You can tell me your shit. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna tell anybody. Which is true. That's a bro code. That is most definitely a bro code. Okay, there's some of the best friends I have. Okay, fucking know my shit. All right, and they ain't gonna tell anybody. And yes, ladies. Okay, just like we know, ladies, if you're screwing around your guy doesn't know about it. Okay, but your girlfriends do. Okay, because you fucking told them. Well, guess what, ladies? It works both ways. Okay, if your guy's screwing around you, his guy friends know about it, and they sure as fucking ain't gonna tell you. Okay. So that's fucking true. It works both ways. I know in the movies you never see it that way, but it's honest to God fucking truth, okay? If I'm cheating on a girl, my best guy friends know about it already, okay? Just like with you, ladies, okay? We do it too, okay? Don't think that you got the monopoly on that. You don't. All right. Anyway, so that's going on here, okay? Zach and Sid, they talk about Susan a little bit, and we find out that Susan is actually his older brother Tommy's ex. Like I said before, his older brother died in Vietnam. Okay, so I'm trying to do the math here. It's a little bit complicated. Okay, so the movie takes place in 1982. Okay, the Vietnam War ended in 1973. Okay, now this is Sid's older brother, so I'm guessing Sid, he's already a college graduate. So let's assume he graduated high school at 18. He graduated college at 22. So that would make him like 23 or 24 right now, going through OCS, right? Okay, about 23 or 24. Now, his brother died in Vietnam, so let's say he's 24 in 1982. How old was he in 1972? Okay, that would have made him 14. Okay, now Vietnam ended in 1973, so let's say he's 15 when his brother died. Okay, which would make his brother the same age as him, college graduate and all that shit. You don't just become an officer, go to officer school out of high school. You have to graduate college. So let's say his brother was 23. Okay, so he's 15, his brother is 23. Okay, that's an 8-year difference. Okay, and let's guess that his brother's fiance, his brother's girlfriend, Susan, was also 23. Let's say they're the same age. Okay, that means that she's 8 to 12 years maybe older than Sid. So Sid, let's say Sid is 23, then that would make her 31. Now what the fuck is a 23-year-old doing marrying a 31-year-old? Okay? She don't have that many years left to even give him kids. And that's his brother's ex-girlfriend, ex-fiance. Like, what the fuck? That makes no fucking sense, okay? That makes no fucking sense. Do the math there. It just does not add up. It does not add up at all, okay? He's engaged to his brother's ex. Are you out of your fucking mind? Okay, like a 23-year-old wouldn't do that. He wouldn't. If she's 31, what? Was she never married anyone else after fucking Tommy died? In those 8 years, she never considered marrying anybody else. Okay, it's not like she can fucking have kids much longer. I mean, 31 is kind of pushing it to have kids. Okay, you're supposed to do that in your fucking 20s. Okay, so let's assume she has no kids because she ain't got married yet. She was single for 8 years until fucking Sid decided to fucking be her fiance? Are you out of here? This makes no fucking sense. This would never happen. Okay? Unless she was his age. But that means that her brother was dating her when she was like fucking 15 years old, and he wouldn't do that either. So what the fuck? Anyway, the math does not add up. Okay? Thank God we don't see Susan in this movie. Okay? But it makes no sense. Okay? That she would be that old. Okay? And him engaged to her? Get the fuck out of here. That would never happen. Realistically, I would never do that. I would never fucking marry my brother's ex-girlfriend. What the fuck? Especially my brother was 8 years older than me. Are you out of your fucking mind? That would make her 8 years older than me. At least 8 years older than me. Okay? Maybe 7. Okay, maybe 9. But she'd be significantly older than me. And why would I do that when I would rather date a girl my own age? You see what I mean? It makes no fucking sense, okay? Anyway, like Lynette. Lynette's like his age. Is like Sid's age. That makes sense. Okay, Lynette definitely doesn't look like a 31-year-old, okay? She looks like a 22-year-old, okay? She looks like a good 22-year-old, okay? That makes more sense, okay? Not a 31, 32-year-old woman, get the fuck, that used to date his brother. That's just fucking sick. It's sick, okay? Anyway, he didn't tell Zach because, like I said, he didn't want to be judged. He wants Zach to judge him, and Zach doesn't care, okay? Okay, now Sid tells Zach that, hey, Susan's great. She's sweet, she's kind, she helps out the handicapped kids every day after school, everybody loves her, okay? And Zach's like, do you love her? Like, Sid, I mean, you didn't answer my question. I asked you if you loved her. And you're over here telling me that, that everybody loves her and that she helps out handicapped kids, that she's sweet and she's kind. Like, what the fuck, you didn't tell me you loved her. Like, this is bullshit, okay? So he calls out Sid on his own fucking bullshit. You didn't answer my question. Okay. And like I said, I would never date my brother's ex-girlfriend, okay? And so Sid quickly changes the subject, and he tells Zach is supposed to meet with the other candidates, supposed to go to a bar and get fucked up, a bar called TJ's. They're gonna get fucked up, but Sid tells him I can't make it. Okay, I gotta go meet Lynette tonight. We're gonna get a motel room, okay? So I'm not gonna be able to make it to the bar tonight. All right, so I tell the candidates that I can't make it, okay? And Zach's like, what are you still seeing Lynette for? You should do what I did, okay? Just break it off, clean, even, and Sid says like, break it up, man, the best head in 52 states. Yes, ladies, we do talk this way, okay? Best head in 52 states. Well, if the head's that good, I guess you can't turn her down. Hey, you know what? If you're good at that, ladies, man, not all girls are good at that, okay? I'll just say that. Some girls are better than others at that, okay? But if you're good at that, that's points for you, all right? Just don't tell your guy how you learned it, okay? Or who you learned it with. Anyway, so he goes off to see Lynette, and then Sid tells Zach, hey, by the way, Paula was really, really upset that you never called her last week at all, okay? I'm not supposed to tell you that, but she was really upset, okay? And Zach tells her, no, women. You should have done what I did, okay? Just broke it off, clean, have it done with, over, that's the best way. That's the absolute best way, so that's kind of how Zach feels about it. And I think what's really going on here, I think Zach just feels, like I said before, he's too scared to go further with her, okay, then he's already gone. I think he already feels he's already gone too far into this thing. He's got to pull the brakes on it right now because he's about to graduate pretty soon, and he doesn't want to have this big emotional attachment, okay, when he's so close to graduating and getting shipped off somewhere else, getting shipped off to Pensacola, and learning how to fly over there, okay? So anyway, the next thing we have here is the bar, and you got Zach there, and you've got Emilio, okay, I forgot his last name, Rendoza or something like that, the Hispanic guy. De La Sera is there, okay, and then Seagar is there, and Perryman are there, and they're all there at the bar doing shots and getting drunk and having a good time in their fucking dress blues, those slick ass dress blues, okay, and they notice over there, he looks around, over by the pool table, there's Paula, and Paula's on a date with another guy. Okay, and De La Sera tells Zach, like, oh man, she's pulling rank on you, man. That guy's a flight instructor, man. He outranks you, and that's true. Girls tend to fucking date guys that are higher up, not just because they have more power, they have more rank, but they get paid more too, and they have better quarters to live in, okay? It's true. The more promoted you are, the better your living conditions are, the more money you get paid, and the more power you have. Okay, so girls respect power. Okay, they're turned on by it. Okay, if you're a guy that's fucking in charge of a whole fucking squadron of Marines, okay, you're more attracted to a girl than a guy who's just fucking, and not in charge of anybody. He's got to fucking clean the shitters all the time. Okay, you see what I mean? It's just like in real life, just like in the civilian world. All right. So yeah, so she's dating this guy. Okay. And of course, now Zach gets a little upset. You can tell in his eyes that he's not comfortable seeing Paula with another guy. Like, he knew this was going to happen, okay? But he already made a commitment, which is the right thing to do. I say it all the time. Whenever I break it off with a girl, I have already committed to that, okay? I'm not taking that back. I am not going to fucking go back there and beg her to take me back. I've never done that in my entire fucking life, and I never will. If I ever break it off with a girl, that's it. It's final. Okay, all the scenarios, all the possibilities of maybe working it out, or maybe, going back to her and trying again, all that shit is fucking over and done with, okay? Before I break it off with a girl, I've already accepted the fact that she's going to date other guys and that I will never see her again, and I am okay with that. Okay, that's why I break it up with a girl. Okay, so if I were to see a girl, would I be a little bit upset? Maybe for a second or so, I'd be upset. Okay, but then I'd be like, oh no, she's on her own. Okay, so yeah, that's true. So I've never, every girl I've broken up with, I was final. Like, I never try to get back with them ever. ever, okay? And Zach is kind of that way, which is why I relate to him so much. So he understands that, okay? I don't think he's trying to get back with her so much as he's sorry for how he did it. All that bullshit he told, Sid earlier about just break it off, clean exit, just like I did, that kind of thing. I think that he realizes because he is changing now, he's not as selfish as he used to be. He actually gives a shit about other people now, okay? Because of that, he's starting to realize that, maybe the way he treated Paula, the way he broke it off with Paula, wasn't the way that he would want a girl to break it off with him, okay, by just ghosting him, okay? Yeah, back then ghosting somebody was a bad thing, okay, and he feels guilty about it. Back then you felt guilty about ghosting somebody, okay, and that's what he is. He feels guilty about ghosting Paula, and so he wants to have a word with her. He sees her walk away from the guy to go to the jukebox, so he follows her there, and he basically tells her, hey, I'm sorry I didn't call you, that kind of thing. Like I said, I don't think he's trying to get back with her. I think he realizes that the way he broke it off with her just sucks, okay? He probably hurt her. In fact, I'm sure he knows that he's hurt her. He knows how into him she was, okay? And he's just trying to make up for that. Like he wouldn't want to be treated that way. He realized, I don't want to be treated that way, but I still treated her this way, so I'm going to apologize for it. It's the least I can do, okay? So he goes over there. He apologizes for not calling her all week, and Paula tells him, that it's okay, that it doesn't matter, it's fine. She's all right with it. She's already moved on. Oh, by the way, she's getting a raise at her job. She's getting a raise next month at her factory job. And she tells, and you're going to graduate, right? And in 2 weeks, he's like, yeah, I'm going to graduate. And I'm starting to feel that I'm actually going to make it this time. I'm actually going to do it because earlier when they first met, he said I'm not sure I'm going to graduate, but now he's like, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to graduate now, and I'm going to make it. She's like, I told you. I always told you that. Remember? I told you, you saw it, you visualized it, and it'll happen. Just like I said, okay? Now, I gotta go, I'm on a date, okay? Bye. And she fucking leaves, okay? And Zach stops her real quick. He says, hey, Paul, wait, there's something I want to tell you. She's like, what? What do you want to tell me? Huh? What do you want to tell me? He's like, I just want to, I just want to tell you that, I want to tell you thank you. Thank you. I don't think I could have made it through all this without you. You gave me something to look forward to every week. And I want to say thank you for that, and this is like the best way he can tell her. I think that maybe, I'm not saying he's experiencing regret or anything. He's experiencing regret for how he treated her, but he's not necessarily wanting to get back with her. I think this is the way it's going, like, okay, you know what? I didn't take your feelings into consideration, so I'm going to try to now. Okay, I want to say, like, you know what? I really did like spending time with you. I liked it a little bit too much, and that scares me. Because I don't know what to do with feelings like this, I don't want to deal with them, okay? So he basically telling her it's not you, okay? You're not the reason, okay? It's me, okay? I have a problem with intimacy. He's telling her all this without telling her this, okay? This is the way guys do it, okay? He's like basically telling her, hey, listen, I have intimacy issues. I'm scared to pursue anything. As far as we went is as far as I'm willing to go, and I still think it was a little bit too far for me because I'm struggling with it. So I just want to let you know that you didn't do anything wrong, and I'm happy that the time I spent with you was good. I loved seeing you. I loved looking forward to seeing you every week, and I wish you well. I wish you well, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the way I treated you. And that I can relate to, okay? There's been plenty of times in my life where I've made this speech as well, and when I have legitimately felt bad, if I ever hurt somebody, I felt bad about it, and I wanted them to know that I was sorry, okay, that I was legitimately sorry, and that's all he's trying to tell her, okay? And Paul says, like, well, don't thank me. I had a good time, and good luck with you and your jets, okay? I see you, Zach. Bye. So she blows him off now, which I guess is comeuppance for him, and I know a lot of you girls in the audience were like, yeah, you tell him, girl. He can't treat you that way. Yeah, I'm sure that's what happened here, okay? But I think that this was all, not so much about him loving her. I think this was more about his guilt. He felt guilty because he's starting to care about people now. That's what Gunny Foley taught him. That's what being in the Navy taught him. And OCS has taught him. Start giving a shit about other people. Start helping out your fellow man, okay? And that also includes civilians. That includes the girls that you're dating, okay? You can't treat them like shit either. You can't just blow them off either. You can't take their feelings for granted either. So he's starting to feel the guilt now. And he's trying to do something about it. This is slowly, he's trying to become a gentleman. And that's what he's trying to do here, okay? And then after that, of course, he lets her go, and then he just goes back to the table and gets drunk. Yeah, there you go, all right? Okay. All right, then. Okay, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review of Officer and a Gentleman. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.